This program is brought to you by UCKG.
Many clinical rehabilitation centers consider addiction to be an incurable, progressive, and fatal disease. It sneaks its way in, and before the person realizes it, they are hooked. The consequences are devastating and deadly. Losses are unavoidable. If you're sick and tired of addiction controlling your life or destroying that of a loved one, don't despair. There is a solution for addiction.
Hello to everyone and welcome to the Last Hit program, where we always show to you that you do not need to be a victim of evil, of addiction. You don't need to choose slavery, but you can choose freedom. And it is very real, so real that I want you to pay attention to this story of a person who was an addict for years. He lost control of his life. There was no way out for him, but today he is free, delivered, and is no longer a victim of an addiction. Especially you who have thought these days that there's no way out, that you just have to deal with this problem and you're going to have to suffer with this for all of your life because you had a bad upbringing or someone did something to you that made you so in pain that all you have to do is drink, or what you have to do is drink or smoke weed to forget about your problems. Pay attention to this because we believe that you can be free from this spirit of addiction.
My name is Joe. I'm a truck driver. And when I first came to the Universal Church, I had severe depression, anxiety, and insomnia. And I was addicted to cigarettes. I was a chain smoker. I couldn't even go a few minutes without smoking. I had to be smoking. If I had my wife in the truck or something, I couldn't smoke in the truck. So as soon as I get out of the vehicle, I would light up a cigarette just to walk to the door of the store. And then come out of the store and light up another cigarette and see how much I could smoke before I get in the vehicle. I was smoking between 2.5 to 3 packs a day, depending on how many hours we were working. And it became a real problem. And that's what my father died of. That's what he died from lung failure from smoking also. It was a curse that was in my family, and I never thought I would get to that point. The worst moment was when I couldn't sleep no more, and I hadn't slept for 2.5 weeks at least. Just 5 minutes here, 10 minutes there, it seemed like maybe. Couldn't eat. It was getting really bad. My mother brought me, she found the church first through an advertisement to the television, and she asked me to come, and she brought me. When I came to the church, I started to obey the pastors. They really know what they're doing here, and I was delivered of all that, of the insomnia, everything, depression, all that's gone. The cigarette smoking, it went out like from one day to the next. No urge, no nothing, no withdrawal symptoms or nothing whatsoever. And no cravings, nothing at all. It's been 4.5 years already, and I can't even stand the smell when somebody else is smoking now. So there's definitely a solution that is possible through God. And it's not physical, it's not a physical addiction, it's spiritual. I know for a fact, through experience. From one day to the next, and no withdrawal symptoms or nothing. So.
You see, this man's faith made a miracle take place, a magnificent change, transformation. And you can have the same as well, because God promises that if you have faith, all things are possible. Even this, it says, assuredly I say to you, if you have faith and do not doubt, you will do not only done what was to this fig tree, but also if you say to this mountain, be removed and be cast into the sea, it will be done. And whatever things you ask in prayer, believing, you will receive. So we even have the power. You have the power to move mountains. Yes, to move this mountain that seems impossible to climb, this mountain of addiction, of trauma from your past that's made you hooked on drinking, drugs, weed, that's made you stay stuck behind the television and you can't break out of it. God has given you faith to overcome. But you see, this is the tactic of evil. You see, when you have doubts, you are no longer in faith. As when you are in faith, you're no longer in doubts. But if the doubt takes over you, you will not be able to use your faith the way that you want. And when you do not use the way of faith, you stay stuck in this mountain that's impossible to climb. But when you are in faith, you can overcome this problem, this challenge, this mountain. This is the tactic of evil that tries to tell you, you can't, you won't, live with it. You are a loser. This is what you're meant to be. When you hear these voices of doubts, you're no longer being able to use faith. Your faith is neutralized. And so therefore, you make your life stuck in this vicious cycle of repetitive behavior that is not doing you good, that is making you addicted. But if you have faith in God, you can do all things. Nothing is impossible. God can deliver you. God will deliver you. God will help you and make you overcome. And soon your story will be shown throughout the whole world as you just watch this person here. I want to invite you, my dear friend, to our last hit therapy, where we give to you this faith, where we show to you that the Word of God is by your side, is backing you up, defending you, and wants to help you. But you need to push yourself to come to this therapy. And in this therapy, we are going to show you the way of faith, because it's faith that's going to make the miracle happen and change your destiny. If you want, you can contact us or DM us on our Facebook or on our social media, wherever you are watching this from, and get in contact with us. Because we believe that if you overcome your doubts, and you're going to find help for that here in the last hit session therapy, you will be able to have faith to move the mountain of this addiction of yours in your life. And better, let me rephrase that. This is not your addiction. It doesn't belong to you. So let's get rid of it. Let's take it away from us. If you want to know more information, as I said, DM us. But believe that you can overcome this spirit of addiction, because God has given you the ability to do so.
I pretended like it was a normal day. I got up. I went to school. I went back home and went to the roof of my building. My right foot was already floating over the edge, but right before I was about to leap, I saw a family across the street looking at me from their apartment window. This little girl was staring at me, and she shook her head and covered her face. It was because of her that I didn't jump.
You just heard the testimony of a 20-year-old who arrived at the brink of suicide and changed his mind. Why would someone with a whole life ahead of them decide to end it all? While depression can be physically crippling, it is also extremely spiritually destructive. Depression spiritually opens up your soul to many evil works. Despair, continuous sadness, anguish, suffering, loneliness, feelings of abandonment, and suicide are all internet searches that have increased dramatically in recent years. As time goes by, hurtful events accumulate inside the soul, and there comes a time when there is no more hope. Then there is no more room for life, and there is only one thought.
I don't want to live anymore.
My dear friend, we come to the end of another last hit session, and we believe that if you stayed in tune, this can bless you not only for yourself, but also your family. Maybe you are watching right now and you're not addicted, but you have a family member that is. Well, there are no limits to faith. You can pray on their behalf. You can fight on their behalf. You can bring the pictures of your family on their behalf, and you can be sure that God, He will transform them as your faith believes so. Remember, hold on to faith, because it is what is going to take you from being a slave to being liberated, from being stuck in this addiction to giving a testimony to all those who are watching worldwide. Okay? If you want more information, contact us on our social medias, and we'll be prompt and quick to answer you back. May God bless you, and until next time.
This program is brought to you by UCKG.